So you want to teach your child to swim? Well, the swim doctor is here to help out. So if you're a parent who likes to do things themselves, or you're already a swimmer but don't know exactly the right way to teach your child how to swim, I'm going to give you some tips here. So this is going to be the most important part of teaching your child to swim. This is going to be the foundation of everything. But before we get to that, we have to go over the first major hurdle, which is getting your child actually in the pool. Now, for a lot of new baby swimmers, this is going to be super hard for them. They don't want to be in the pool, and they'll tell you. So what I've seen over my many years of teaching is a lot of parents will say, oh, okay, well, we'll just come back, we'll come back next lesson. And, you know, then they throw a fit and they come back, and then they're like, oh, we'll come back next lesson. And sometimes it takes a long time before they actually get them in the pool. Now, what you don't want to teach your kid is if they throw a fit, they won't get in the water. They're very smart. They'll pick up on that and they'll use that. They will use it. So what you got to do is, even if they're screaming and crying, you just got to get them in the water. So you go in the water with them, you hold them, you take them around. We're not going to worry about actually teaching them how to swim just yet. They just got to learn that the water isn't something they have to be scared about or something they have to fuss over. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get them in the pool, take them around a little bit, and then you're done. And then you'll try it again the next day, and each time it'll get easier and easier until they're actually wanting to get in the pool. You can even bring in some toys for them to play with just to get their mind off of things. These are some of the things that I personally have used to get the kids comfortable in the water. So feel free to use my tips. Now, once you've gotten them in the water, the major thing you're going to be working on is floating. Floating is the backbone to swimming. It is the foundation. If you can't float properly, then you're not going to swim properly. So, how are we going to teach them how to float by themselves? How are we going to teach them to float not only by themselves, but not make a fuss about it when you let go of them, which is going to be, you know, later when they're more comfortable with it. But first, what you're going to want to do is we can start with the front float and the back float. It just kind of depends on the kid. Some kids, it's a lot easier for them to float on their back. Some kids, it's a lot easier to float on the front. Although, from my experience, most kids have a lot of trouble with the front float because they have to put their face in the water and they don't like that. So to get them used to putting their face in the water, what you're going to want to do is do what we call head bobs. So with a head bob, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the kid, and then you're going to jump up and get them ready. And then once you guys are both ready, you're going to dip their head underwater for just like a quick second and then bring them back up. It's going to be super quick. A lot of the times they're not going to like that, but just keep practicing that and they'll realize again that it's nothing that they have to be scared of. Then it's going to be a lot easier for them to put their face in the water when you're teaching them front floats. So it's all about progressions here. So for a front float, you're just gonna hold them. What I found is easier is if you hold them right around this area with both of your hands. That way they're more stabilized. And then slowly, when they get better and better with floating, pretty soon you're gonna be just holding their arms, and then you're not gonna hold them at all. You're just gonna like let go for a quick second, and then that's it. Now for a back float, it's pretty much going to be kind of the same area, but on their back. So you're going to be basically just putting both your hands on their back, and you're just going to hold them there. And then as they get more and more comfortable, you're going to move to just holding their arms. And then once they get comfortable with that, you're going to be just letting go for a quick second, then holding them again. And then obviously the next progression after that is you're just going to let go for a longer period of time, longer and longer, until they can just do it by themselves and they feel comfortable just doing it by themselves. Now make sure you stay tuned for my next video where I'll be going over the next steps along this process. Now, if you've been liking my stuff so far, feel free to swim over to that like button and hit that. Also, make sure you're swimming over to that subscribe button since most of y'all aren't subscribed. And yeah, this is going to be the first major step on teaching your child how to swim. I promise if you focus on this part, specifically the floating part and getting them comfortable in the water, if you just focus on that part, the rest is so much easier. So